happy Monday. Also, happy back to school season. I know a few people probably started school this week, and so I hope everyone had a really good first day. Hope it wasn't too stressful. I am back here with another Myth Monday. I don't know what number we're on, but you know I'm gonna put it in the caption. This myth that I want to discuss is one that I feel is pretty outdated. I think society as a whole has kind of overcome this myth and has been slightly more open-minded to it, but I think that the ramifications of this notion from the past still has present impacts, and so I really wanted to discuss it on my page. And so the myth that we're going to be discussing today is that autism only affects boys. I also want to specify when I am discussing boys, girls in this conversation, I'm specifically referencing cisgendered individuals, but this conversation also affects those who are transgendered and are also non-binary. But in this conversation, when I refer to boys and girls, just know that I am referring to cisgendered individuals, just for simplicity's sake. In reality, the reason why this myth has even became a thing was because historically the DSM and most mental health diagnoses were primarily built on the male representation of mental health, even autism, right? And so there's going to be a lot of different gender stereotypes that are going to shape how clinicians and educators recognize autistic traits. And so this is a really important topic because this is what it means for autistic girls usually becoming diagnosed later in life or not diagnosed at all. And this is really concerning because this disallows them to have access to pertinent information that would benefit them, right? And another thing is that because that they're either diagnosed later in life or not at all, they start to camouflage, they start to mask at a really early age, which then ironically causes a lot of difficulty for professionals to then spot the traits that would help them be diagnosed later in life. And so because autistic girls are diagnosed later or not until adulthood, they often go through puberty and their first relationships without ever being identified as needing autism-specific support, right? And so sex ed, if they ever get it, isn't really built for how they process things. And so because of this gap in education, combined with masking and social motivation without matching social understanding, a lot of autistic women are unfortunately at a disproportionately higher rate of experiencing sexual victimization and sexual assault. In general, this is not a lack of desire or social interest causing the vulnerability. It's more specifically that autistic girls are often highly socially motivated and they just don't get the explicit, concrete instruction on boundaries and consent that would actually meet their needs. And so I just wanted to discuss that today because obviously autism does not just affect boys. Girls can have autism too, anybody can have it. And by having the perspective that a certain gender, a certain race, a certain type of individual falls outside of that category, that causes severe danger and ramifications to that individual's life when they do meet those traits, when they do meet those standards. And so it's very unfair and it can cause lifelong issues and trauma from not being seen as, oh, she doesn't have autism, she makes eye contact. Oh, she doesn't have autism, she's social, she can carry a conversation. That doesn't protect you from victimization, from assault. What does is education, is knowledge. And so that's why I want to speak about this myth on my page today, because though I feel as if we are kind of at that point in society where we know that anybody can have autism, the fact of the matter is, due to how this diagnosis came about and also just the DSM in general, there have been countless girls and women who have masked their way through their lives, which is not right, which is not fair, and I would like to decrease that amount of individuals experiencing that. I don't think that you should mask. I think that you should be able to be as truly authentic and as raw as you want to be. And I think all of that comes with concrete instructions, explicit information, and also just the space and acceptance to allow different points of view and understanding. And so, yeah, that's just what I really wanted to share today. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. I have a couple other little posts I'm excited to share with you guys this week, and that's all I got for you. I can't wait to see what anyone has to say in the comments. But thank you again so much for watching and listening. Bye!